like this. We're arguing the flat earth, right? Or we're promoters of the flat earth. But spiritually or consciously, everyone knows that the earth is flat. I'm of that opinion. There is no people on this planet that don't know the earth is flat. And what I mean by that is every single human being on the planet experiences this earth flat. You can't argue with that. Everyone experiences.
Do you know, if you were in Thailand, like my mate Nick Funk at Word, his wife, she's Taiwanese, right? When he asked her what shapes the earth, she said, well, flat, obviously. They're outside the Western indoctrination. They don't fucking put a globe in their classrooms. So sweet. They know.
Right. To believe that the earth is a globe is to ignore your experience. You have to literally say, yes, I'm walking around. Everything feels flat. No matter how far I go out on the horizon, it's still going to be a flat horizon. You have to ignore that experience and believe mentally in the globe model. Yeah. You have to leave reality, go to your mind to accept something. So when they're arguing about the globe, they're arguing from a belief. You're not arguing from an experience.
Always an assumption.
Right. Yeah. They believe in the indoctrination. They believe in their teaching. They believe in what their parents told them. They believe what the teachers told them. They believe. And belief is not a bad thing. The only time a problem comes in is when your belief is mistaken for reality. We're arguing from a position of reality. They're arguing from a position of belief, mental stuff.
Blew the ashtray all over me then. You're right. No, I know. So next door, when I get with Flat Earth, he said to me, his sister's a physicist, he said, how is it a man of your intelligence thinks the earth is flat, Matt? What is wrong with you? Haven't you ever seen the ISS? That was his argument. I couldn't even go there. I couldn't be bothered. I left him to it.
You have to believe it. You have to believe that a football field size machinery that man has made is above our head, 250 miles high. I think it's 250 miles high, and traveling at 17,000 miles per hour. You have to believe that. Now, my question is,
before I go pull my fish and chips out of the oven, I do gotta say, what up? Welcome, Nathan.
Hey, what's up? What's up, folks, brother?
Happy 100th. Congratulations on your 100th.
Nice.
Yeah, I totted them up. I've done 104, but like 3 or 4 of them you couldn't really count because they're just like tests or very short streams. But yeah, I think there's 99 actual shows. And then the next one, whenever that will be the 100th. So I was like, cool, might as well have a look at guests on. Why not?
Yeah, cool, man. Sounds good.
Nice.
Any excuse to celebrate. Did you watch RV this morning? Did you, Nathan? I watched him last night before it crashed.
I did. He answered a few of my questions. He was very courteous.
Yeah, you got a question answered, did you?
Yeah, several. Yeah, he was just reading out. He did it for hours and hours and hours. So anything he was asked, he seemed to answer.
Of that, and the chat was like that. So quick, it was unreal.
Yeah, about 500 people watching when I was in there.
7 I was watching, 700. And then you watched this morning. I watched last night. God, it was good to see RV on though. I really like his live events. He's good. Everybody's a shill. Everything is a psyop. End of. Job done. That's him.
I did ask one question he didn't answer, which was, why does Jason James keep doxing you? And he didn't answer that. Yeah. Well, I didn't say it because I wanted to be combative with him. It was more that I was genuinely intrigued as to why the two of them are always at each other's throats.
I don't know. He went on a bit about him earlier. He had a little blast about him. Yeah, did when I watched it.
I don't know if you guys have read the quotes. Apparently, AMTV channel on YouTube with 378,570 subscribers.
Say that again.
Just on a live.
AMTV.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that guy.
AMTV.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's just done a live stream which is titled "Warning: Donald Trump sends B-52 nuclear bombers to South Korea."
What?
We've been informed that ODD TV has joined him for the last 30 minutes of the live stream explaining the flat Earth.
Very cool. How did he get on? Do you know?
378,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he's
I have no clue, mate. Literally just uploaded 2 minutes ago, so yeah, I don't know.
I remember that guy. I remember that guy had 500 subscribers. He grew big as hell in like the last 5 years.
He's probably bought them because what I'm seeing here, there's nowhere near 100,000 views on any video. The biggest one I can see on the first page is like 60,000. So
yeah, I remember when he first started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's been 5 years. It's probably about 4. So he's claiming that we're attacking North Korea.
Oh, I don't bloody know, mate. I stay away from it. I can't be bothered. It's fear-mongering propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't give a shit about it anymore.
You've got a rocket, he's in on it.
Put them all on it.
The trouble with that is, you haven't got a clue what's going on. You know, we had a new prime minister at one stage, and my daughter found out before I did when my dad sat down with her and told her. I was like, really? Because I don't watch the news, so half the time I've got a clue what's going on.
I only found out who the chancellor was yesterday. I didn't even know.
I feel better for it.
I'll probably give it a watch, that video, after this.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how ODD going on. He knows his stuff. He's going to have done. I know he'll have done well.
Yeah, he would.
Donald Trump sends B-52 nuke bombs to South Korea. To South Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, right, to be stationed there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Can you guys hear this? Yeah.
Very, very, very faint.
What is it? Give me a link. I'll just play it live. How long is it?
Oh, it's on for an hour.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. He's just saying that we're giving our friends nuclear capabilities.
No, it's bullshit.
Or we're stationing them there. I guess that's what he's saying.
Hey, I hate to backtrack here because I had to step away just as Nathan came in. What's this? You had your 100th episode now, Nathan? Is that the way I understand?
The next hangout I do will be the 100th. Yeah. So I mean, I've done slightly more than 100 streams, but a couple of them were tests. So the next one will be the 100th show, if you like. I did a playlist. I only realised it was over 100 when I did the playlist. I was like, oh well, to me it's still the 100th show. So yeah, that'll be the next one, whenever it is. I don't know when. Sometime in the next few days.
I got like 250 videos. I have.
I got quite a few too, but it's a lot different just firing up a hangout and talking about nothing versus having subject matter lined up.
Very good.
That's kind of what I mean. I've got 100 shows with an actual subject matter, so included in that is things like sun tracking and mechanics of the fourth wall, Flat Earth UK, various other hangouts.
I got all them downloaded, Nathan. Mechanics.
Cool. Thank you.
I watched one back about 2-3 weeks ago just to see what we were talking about back then. I was on one week. Well, I've been on a few with you, haven't I? And it was really good. It was really, I was all right, and the conversation was really good. I got to be honest, I was quite impressed with it. You know, when you're in them, you don't really think they're that good, but when you watch them back, you think, Christ, this is really all right. Well presented, really good conversation, good topic. Can't remember which one it was.
I watched myself, Martin, and I was surprised how little my views had changed. I thought they might have progressed, but they haven't.
Oh, wow, they're doing well, though. We all are, really, I think. YouTube, yeah. I'm not really thinking that way anyway. I'm just glad that anybody's listening to me anyway. And everybody knows me. I'm well liked, and it's a blessing. It really is. I like that. I like people liking me. I hate people not liking me. I don't know why, but I don't know. That's what I remember. You just said vegan. What we want in life. Well, that's what I want. I wanted to be liked by people and help people if I can.
Yeah,
out here. And this is a good way of it. I guide so many, you know.
Right. I think the best approach to that is just accepting people for where they are. You know what I mean? A lot of times people don't see eye to eye with you, or they are trying to mask who they really are. Try to peel back the layers and always remember there's a conscious being behind it all. And once you do that, their defenses come down slowly. Yeah. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of people in my experience that I might have started off rough with, but over time, I've learned to connect with, even though I disagree with them, you know, or they disagree with me or whatever. And you develop more people that like you over time, you know.
I gotta admit, it is nice to be accepted, to know that I can come in here and trip over my own darn tongue like I do daily, and people overlook that and seek the message that's actually being spoken and accept me and show the love. man, it's just awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And recognition's nice as well. Like, you know, when other flat earthers recognise what other flat earthers does, I really like that because you know, when they give one another props and that, it's like makes it worthwhile. I'm definitely comments, what people good comments, because I can have a shit comments and make me feel really down and affect me, and then I'll have one comment and me think, oh wow, that rocks. I feel much better now. It's really weird though. Sentences affect you.
You want to know what else is a good feeling? When a glober, somebody that believes in the ball, says to you, "Well, shit, I never considered that."
We had it.
I don't know if I agree with you, but damn, you know what? You put up a very interesting point, and they leave it at that. That is $1 million to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that is the best thing in the world. I don't need you to say, yes, I'm a flat earther. Yeah, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. But that glober that says, well, shit, I never really considered that. You know what? That's a good point, and then just sort of fades away.
Marlon said it to us in Dred's chat.
Yep.
One thought of that, and he really considered it, didn't he?
Yeah, those comments are just as valuable, in my opinion, as the positive ones. You know, of course, we want all the positive ones, but when you get that person that says, well, shit, I got to look more into this. Bang, that's all I want. That's all I want. If you are willing to look into it more, I'm good. I'm good with that. You know, if you get it, great. If you never get it, that's your choice, you know?
It does seem to be quite a unique aspect of Flat Earth that there's very few people, don't get me wrong, there are some, that are saying, this is my snake oil, buy it. They're just saying, go and have a look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I mean, it's a really strange way of looking at it. You know, there's so many 9/11 videos where they say, this is how I see it. And they come up with a non sequitur argument for what they see in it. Whereas we're saying, well, how I see it is my business. But have you considered this? Go out and look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's generally the rhetoric of most flat earthers.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, we done it the other night. Don't take our word for it. Don't even believe us. Go and look for yourself. Get up and do some distance shots, some curves. Look for a boat. Get a pair of binoculars.
Or just the opposite. If they would bring something to us and tell us to go look at it, we would. But they ain't got nothing to bring towards us. They can't bring us a test that shows water measures as a curve. They can't bring no test to prove to us that the Earth spins.
Yeah,
they got their magic word, gravity.
Yep.
Hey, Jimbo's back.
Jimbo actually knows inside out back to front stuff, whereas the vast majority of my information when I first came to Flat Earth didn't come from somebody who was on, you know, a level playing field with me. It was from the haters. It was from the sly Sparkanes, but they were still really useful. You know, they gave me a lot of abuse, but it back. But they sharpen your arguments. They give you information. You know, it's nice these days because you've got people like James Panda, or however you say his name, he's a pretty reasonable guy, and he knows his stuff. You know, he's genuinely intellectually honest when he presents his arguments to people, and I applaud him for that. And he knows his stuff. So if you're like new to Flat Earth, hang around people like that. I still class them as Flat Earthers. They're here. They've got no need to be. They're standing around saying there's nothing to see here because everyone around them thinks they're on a ball anyway. So what's their purpose? Well, they're here to be the antagonists, to progress Flat Earth, to sharpen our arguments. So hang around them. If you don't know your heliocentric nonsense, hang around your Gems Pandas, because they'll sharpen your arguments quick sharp.
Yeah.
But what about when you bring an argument to Jim Panda that he has no rebuttal to? What's his rebuttal to that? He'll snipe your damn hangout. He admits that he snipes.
I mean, that's fine. You know, that's like a baby throwing its dummy out the pram, isn't it?
You're wrong.
But that's not the purpose. I mean, I couldn't care less what Gem Panda's opinion is. And no disrespect to any of you guys. If you disagree with me on a completely random subject, let's just avoid it, take it away from Flat Earth. I wouldn't care. You know, you can disagree with me, fine. You know, and the same applies to James Panda. If he disagrees with me, more power to him. That's not the purpose. But he knows a lot more about NASA than I do. I can say that hand on heart. He's a bigger fanboy than I ever was. So, you know, sharpen your arguments, ask him questions.
Yeah, that's how I feel about flat Earth math. I don't agree with him. I obviously don't agree with him, but I like how he presents stuff. And I'm like, okay, he just sharpened my knife on this particular issue. He sharpened my knife on that particular. I mean, it's not about a like, it's about hearing the opposing view, right? Because when you hear the opposing view and it makes no sense to you, you understand where they're coming from. And when you understand where they're coming from, you can slay them really well. You know, I mean,
because what they're jerk, wouldn't we? We'd all just be shaking each other's hands. If it wasn't for the antagonists, we need the antagonists. Otherwise, we just agree with each other, and if we completely ignore the Southern Star Trails, they'd just be ignored. Oh, it's just like not for us to be addressed.
Yeah, we'll be like them. Yeah.
Me, it's the manifestation of fear and anger and just the vitriol that comes from Globers with their insecurity to any threat to their conscience, their world, their paradigm. It's so fragile. I think because subconsciously they know it's all based on accepting myths and lies and fairy tales. That if they let any part of that fairy tale go, they have to let it all go.
Right.
And they just can't do it.
Yep. Or it takes some time to do it, you know, because I think we were like that at one point. I mean, how many of you became flat earther overnight? I know I didn't. It was
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Yeah, some of us sooner, some of us longer and shorter than the others. You know, me, it was like it had to resonate, and I had to realize it. You know,
I woke up one morning.
If I was conscious at 10 years old, I would have known, looking across the water 20 miles, that there was no curve. But we don't and are never given the opportunity to even think of something like that. Right. We see Bugs Bunny shoot a baseball, prop himself up for a minute, then catch it, and it's gone around the world and has all these signatures from different countries. Right. And then we see like Bugs Bunny again with Columbus going to America, and one saying it's round and the other smashes him with a hammer and says it's flat like your head.
Right.
So,
that's what programming though.
Or the Roadrunner drills through the earth and comes out at China. You know,
that's first reference though for Globe. It's always going to be the programming, because the fact that it's flat is obvious and observable. So therefore, the extraordinary proof has to be on disproving the observably obvious, which is that it's flat. And if you observe life, you see flatness. You know, and they even tell you in some of the heliocentric nonsense, well, you can never go high enough to see the curve. It's like, well, you know, that is stacked right in contradiction of your boat nonsense. But besides the point, you're telling us we can never see the curve. You know, you're never going to see it. Am I right? So you're saying it's obviously and observably flat too. So where do we go with curvature? Well, let's go measure it. Oh, there is none to measure. It's just, you know, it's obviously flat.
It's crazy.
So when people say, where's your proof? It's like, no. It's obviously flat, therefore prove to me that it isn't.
Right. Absolutely. The burden of proof is always on the presenter. It's not on us. We don't have to prove the earth is flat. We experience it.
Well, they prove by theory. Theory that gravity holds the water to a curve on the ball shape. Gravity holds our air from the vacuum of space moving at I don't know how many thousands of miles an hour we're going. No barrier. Wonderful gravity.
Right. That's crazy. And the theories are all mind stuff. You have to embrace their propensity to be mental versus ignoring, like he said, the physical. You ignore your physical experience with the world to believe what they believe. You know,
they play with the dreamer in people,
right? You know, and then they reinforce it with Star Wars and Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and, you know, all these different things, and it becomes, well, shit, it got to be right. It's on my favorite movie, you know.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica.
Right. It has to be right. And if it's not right, I'm going to feel completely like shit because I've been deceived for so long. Yeah, that's too much to handle for most egos.
We saw another level of programming, man, at the Space Center, because they give you the full scale one-to-one models. And you look at them with our eyes and go, what a hunk of shit. That looks like garbage. That's never going to survive anything. And to the kids that are around it, wow, spaceship.
Right.
Yeah. No, the adults. I heard a guy saying, imagine the Russians actually went up in that. I was like, oh, God, states preserve us.
man, that's child abuse if you think about it. If you really think about it, I mean, of course, physically beating a child, yeah, that's abuse, but that's mental abuse on a child.
Yeah, lying.
Yeah.
The most shocking thing there was, by far, was that it was for the weather, so it's fairly innocuous, but they showed you how they do green screen or whatever, chroma key technology, and they let you interact with it. And that, to me, made my blood boil, man. I was like, what an outrage. You know, they're showing you how they do it.
Yeah. And not only that, with the rover as well, their curiosity in there, in a little sort of enclosure, but they could see it on screen, and it looked exactly like it was on the surface of Mars. So they're just showing you how easy it was to fake it. It was incredible.
The whole thing, man, the whole thing was a proper insult. I mean, I'm smiling because of how big an insult it was.
Thing was a giant globe, wasn't it, Nathan? When you get through, first thing, giant ball.
Yeah, you get to experience their tools used for delusion. You know, you get to experience it. You're like, okay, this is how they're getting the public. And once your eyes is open, it's just like, wow, I can't believe people believe this.
But in our show, unbelievable. An 8-year-old, he was as clever as any one of us. And I'm not joking, ask Gav.
Yeah.
Gav, what was he like, robot?
Oh, man. Yeah, incredible.
He said, you got an older brother? He said, yeah, but he's not awake.
He was at work, didn't he?
Nice.
I know. That was a sweet thing to say. But he was only 8. I don't know how he arrived, but we were going to kick him off. But Prop was a bit rude to him. And he said, we told him, I was like, you can't speak to a kid like that. Give him a chance. And when he started to talk, Jesus Christ, we were all jaw on the floor. He knew everything about stars, planet, the plane, all our theories. He was completely on board with all of it. And he even had his own ideas, which were really interesting, by the way. Really, Gav.
Well, unfortunately, he's had to have been removed.
He was too young, mate. It's going to cause grief for us. If anyone's thinking it's bad,
To be on Discord, you need to be 13. And looking through his videos, he's got a video of himself filming on the school bus, and the kids don't look older than.
How old was he, mate?
Maybe max.
He was really clever, wasn't he, though?
To save face and to save the server, I've had to remove him.
Well done, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it almost makes me feel jealous. Like, damn, he was awakened at the age of 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, shit.
I wasted that century on my board.
Coming out with metaphors and everything, like, smell of coffee, wake up, I'm awake, and wow, it was incredible. It really was.
I forget the name of it, but I checked here. There's one of these little Hindi churches that is a flat Earth church here in Ottawa. I'm sure they have different ones in different cities. It's part of their culture. I mean, it's
Vegas.
It's very normal for them. They laugh at us thinking it's a ball, and rightly so.
Culture.
Yeah, there's so much knowledge out there that is suppressed to the Western world, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, they outside the Western indoctrination, like I said, in Thailand, in Far East and that, they the Chinese, they're not exactly on our calendar. They got the I Ching. They haven't got the same anything, really. So I don't know if they're actually flat earthers. I think they do the globe, don't they, the Chinese?
Well, it depends on what part of history you're talking about. When you start talking Buddha and, the Taoists and some of them, they know the earth is flat, and they still practice it that way. But you got to remember, China has gone through a significant modernization, Western modernization in the last, 30 years, 40 years?
Despiritualization.
Yeah, so now there's a lot of Western thought embedded in their culture.
And there's still a lot of military control of the people and industry there. It's not a democracy and never will be.
Right.
So I don't know how many steps forward that is for them. Right. They're basically slaves.
Yeah.
Unless you're with the Communist Party. Look, I'm in Ottawa here. When I see Chinese here, they're fucking rich, affluent, freaking Chinamen from China. Right. They're capitalists. How come it's a communist country and only a few of their elite come here?
I can't work it out. I don't know, Jimbo. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Look at Hong Kong, right? It's one of the richest cities in the world. We handed it back in 94, and then it just exploded in commerce. Yeah, it's still communist, which by theory is anti-capitalist. Really strange. So they had to embrace.
Well, it's like Russia when it went communist. The pigs at the trough at the top would have their $80 an ounce caviar and whatever, you know, and you're basically, you know, working class people would have all the laws to smash them and keep them down.
The party
called that
members
equalitarianism.
Yeah, no. I've seen all that, the party members in their bloody hotels having their big posh meals in communist countries. I've seen all of that.
Just like in America and Canada. Why is it different than communism here? We have our pigs at the trough here. We have our status quo. Make sure things don't change. How is that not communism?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, it's just different wording, different symbols, but it's the same practice, you know.
It was all engineered by Judeo-Christians.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing at the end of the day.
Sorry. I was sat opposite a table of SS once in Istanbul. Istanbul and Germany have very close ties. And a lot of the Germans went to Istanbul. And we're in this sort of, you can only be safe in hotels. I was in this hotel in Üsküdar, which is on the other side of the Bosphorus from on the Asian side. My captain was a pure sort of British bulldog who had been sole survivor on a battleship. Him and two guys, two people battleship. So he was a British bulldog. And he started sort of shouting over to him a little bit of abuse. And he got up and said, he came back, sat down. He said, they're all SS. He just told me. I couldn't believe it. They were like in their 80s. Some of them looked quite young, actually, considering it was from the 40s. Suntanned, you know, a bit of hair. Really good looking. Weird. But they were SS. I couldn't believe I've actually seen the real thing. Really strange. Really strange.
A weird life, Martin.
I've had a weird life.
I wanted to say something to James, because James, you're one of the people that I'd say is the best prepared to deal with the current deception. And I'll explain why, because we've mentioned people like Fouquet's Word's wife and Buddhists, people who just know the world is flat. Well, they are completely ill-prepared to deal with the deception, because just knowing and understanding that it's flat you wouldn't get very far when you came up against somebody that is indoctrinated or trying to indoctrinate. In other words, that all of us on this panel are in a really odd position that we have to know our heliocentric nonsense really, really, really well, better than the average Joe indoctrinated sheep, much, much better, along with appreciating that we've been deceived and also having a good understanding of why it's flat, even though it's self-apparent. So James is one of those people that seems to know everything inside out and back to front.
Oh, he does.
It's the kind of position you've got to be in, though. I mean, my question is going to be, how do you get into a position where you know everything about everything?
Well, my dad was an engineer, so I grew up in a steel factory, basically. That was my backyard. So, you know, he worked at the cracking plant, basically, as an engineer there, and I got to watch, like, tons of chemicals being distilled every hour there, loaded up into boxcar tankers and shipped off and sold.
Did you work with him, Jimbo?
You know, I learned my sciences really well. I can build superheterodyne radios. I know my technologies. So that gives me a place to stand and say, look, 8 inches per mile squared, that's bullshit. You don't calculate no radius of no circle with that, or a sphere, but yet that's the one they pump in everyone's faces. It's garbage. You got to get rid of the garbage.
I have a science question. If they consider it a ball, how do they explain the way that radio waves travel? That they say that it goes around a curve, you know?
It can't. Like in radio, the one station I worked at, Hampton, South Carolina, 200,000 watts to transmit to Africa, religious broadcasting across the Atlantic.
They bounced through the troposphere, didn't they? They say
they're supposed to bounce. They're called skip waves. But skip waves don't go around a ball because the upper layer would be wider or have a larger arc than the bottom, the ground or water.
Right.
So the waves have to bounce uniformly, skip uniformly. They're skipping between two flat planes.
Right.
Water below and probably the troposphere above or ionosphere.
You said it was impossible for radio waves to work on a flat on a globe because by nature they're uniformly, as you said, and they go straight. So
it's an interesting one, Martin. I don't know if you saw. It was well over a year, maybe 18 months ago. I did an interview with Robin Poe, and she was explaining that in terms of the distance between the relay points, nicely tallied with how much you should be able to transmit over.
Yeah, I remember clearly.
hold on, let me just get her. I want to get her flat Earth proof on this. So what she was supposed to do by the book, she ignored and just turned the transmitter, the transmitter back to the source point, or the transceiver, and picked it up at something like, I think it was 119 miles, which should have been physically impossible on a globe. And when she told her superiors that it worked, they were absolutely fastidious. No, take it down. It cannot be used in that way. It must be done by the book. Why? Because, of course, if you've got 119 miles, it proves that there's no curve in the way.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess it was on Mark Sargent yesterday or the day before. He was answering some mailbag stuff. And one of the questions, the answer is the satellite antenna is on the belly of jet aircraft, which is a little unusual if the signal's coming from above.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So their satellite antennas are on the bellies of the plane.
I mentioned that on Globebusters a while back, I think.
Well, the thing is, I know for a fact they still guide planes by radio from the ground. They use 2 beacons, and the plane has instruments or tuners that can tell where it is by triangulation. The signal strength from one compared to the other can tell you exactly where you are. The Federal Aviation announced last month they were shutting down just about 300 of these transceivers, for the VORs for aircraft. I'm not sure why. Maybe they're eliminating... Pardon me?
Have they got replacements?
Well, I think they're just using fewer with a higher value of output wattage. That way you can get the same job done with less maintenance on all these different towers and stuff. I think it's just money saving. They're still doing it from ground VOR, and,
Gosh.
Okay. And there's a rule in radio, too, that anything that can transmit a signal can receive, or anything that can receive a signal can transmit a signal. So you can make a place in the ionosphere that is a radio transmitter.
What?
Yeah.
Right. So would that explain all the balloons that NASA puts up in the air all the time?
It's hard to explain why they do all the balloons. Some might be gauges for weather and other stuff, some certainly is. I don't doubt radio equipment and stuff, but they certainly don't have, quote, the whole world covered with GPS satellite, because it's evident with the air flights over the south in the southern Pacific. They go off radar, off GPS.
So, in your opinion, what are they bouncing the signals off? You're thinking it's airplanes, high altitude airplanes?
Well, a lot of it will still be bouncing off the ionosphere, troposphere. Like I say, you can create an antenna in the sky anywhere.
What about absorption?
Absorption of what?
Let's say you shoot something at the ionosphere. Some of that energy that's being bounced off of an open sky, wouldn't that absorb? Why would it bounce off? If you're
getting a continuous signal and you can modulate that signal, it'll always have some power to it. I mean, if you focus 1,000 watts up at the ionosphere somewhere, even if you're losing 200, you still got like 800 watts of transmitting power up there.
Okay, thank you. I needed to understand that.
To backtrack just for a second, though, to say that they're not tracking planes or they can't track planes in the southern hemisphere, stop and think about that. Of course they're tracking each and every plane. They're just not showing it because they can't show the great circle in the opposite that is seen in the northern hemisphere. The Max Ingram flight from San Diego to Sydney, that's proof of that.
Well, how about when the planes go missing and they have to search like buggers because they have no idea where they are?
Okay, name one plane that doesn't have a conspiracy tied to it that disappeared.
Really, good point.
Yeah, the scientists on board, okay, they had a way to get rid of the scientists. Easy enough explained. I can't find the needle in the haystack.
Yeah, need a Nigerian president gone? Just get him in a plane.
That's fucked up.
I know.
Well, you can thank Canada for a lot of Nigeria's problems. We have BP and Shell Oil over there doing most of the looting, paying for these dictators and stir up trouble and kidnap and do whatever. It's all Canada.
Yeah, all right.
And we're doing it. It's no one else. But it's our corporations again. But what are you going to do?
Makes me think of South Park. Blame Canada.
Yeah, blame Canada. Canada.
Well, BP is actually British Petroleum. Most of the roads and roofing shingles on homes are made by BP. So if you're driving on a road, all your asphalt's coming from BP. And your shingles on your home, their tar and their base is coming from British Petroleum. They made trillions of dollars just paving and selling garbage here. It's extremely rich, BP.
Yeah, man. They caused that oil, the leak in the Gulf of Mexico, the one Barack Obama about, didn't
yeah, I have issues with that because there is naturally oil and hydrocarbons flowing out of the bottoms of the oceans and the Gulf of Mexico all the time, you know. Yeah. In fact, the water is so cold down there that methane gas that leaks out freezes and forms this, looks like snow on the bottom.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just frozen methane gas.
There's a new film called, I can't remember now, Something the Horizon, and it's actually a story of what happened on that, with that leakage. I think it's with Matt Damon, or Mark Wahlberg, actually. It is a new film out.
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
The Gorilla Movie Boy.
No, I want to see the King Kong film, Skull Island. Apparently, they're blaming nuclear tests for his massive size, like Godzilla, basically.
They lie so damn much. We can't believe shit.
Boy, I wish I could find a 100-pound earthworm, $50 a pound. Damn.
Wow.
Bring on the nukes.
Bring on the nukes.
Yeah.
It's such big cockroaches. Fight them.
Well, yeah, there's another good one. It's like the nukes. Years, decades, I believed when I watched all those nukes and the bombs going off there and all these old war films. Bombs, boom. There you go. They were nuclear. But now, I mean, I should have known better before because I do a lot of graphic arts. Now I look at them and I can barely hold back the laugh.
Mummy, the shit.
You know, you see them blowing up sand. You see them, and one of them laying down 1 million pounds of TNT before a test. It's so comical, but all these military newsreels and propaganda, they're still doing stuff. Like, again, the way NASA puts together ISS and all that, you can feel the military, these same style of newsreel as from the past. Yeah, I see it now when I watch the ISS and all their bullshit, I even figured out how there's one who shows how to make the water bubbles out of
I've been wondering about
calcium lactate and other stuff. It's edible. You can squeeze it out. It looks like, jello or gelatin. It's transparent. You can squeeze it out of a bottle and it'll form a nice ball when you're in your zero-G plane right at your right time to do your stunts and maneuvers. That's why in most of those scenes, you'll see they're all waiting, like looking at the camera, smiling. And then just at the right moment, they'll all do their little stunt and then go back to their pose.
Of course, you're right. And they're only short term, aren't they? The length of a parabolic maneuver.
And always the same, over and over and over, What are you going to do? But now I can see it. Then again, I had those funky pink glasses on or something,
Yeah.
Rose-colored glasses.
Wow.
But again, though, too, I'm sure because it's a question of your conditioning. I give the example all the time as I was with Pancho Pete one night and he was showing me all these, British pedophiles and weirdos and everything. Well, he showed me one guy that, I recognized him in the photo. He was the guy from V for Vendetta.
Oh, yeah.
The one who played, Anyway, he showed a picture of him with a younger man in a picture at some kind of fair or something, and didn't mean nothing to me. It looked like a guy and his son or something. Well, he had to infer until, that's his husband or something, his little lover, So, if I was gay and was used to men with younger boys and stuff as couples, I would have seen right away that it was, okay, he's gay and that's his little lover, whatever. But because my brain isn't that way, I just saw, an older man with probably his son or a nephew or something.
I think like that as well, Jimbo.
It's the same. I had no reason to think NASA was lying about any of their nonsense. Yeah. I looked at their photos as normally as I would a photo of a man with a younger guy, for that sake, or an older man with a younger girl. I'd see a father-daughter.
That's a trap that some of us will fall into when we're explaining away some globe nonsense, because generally we're on a panel where we're all in the know and we can use sort of shorthand terms to explain things that we've got a general idea we've all got a general idea of to begin with. Therefore, we don't have to explain it in great detail. But often there's people watching who have only got a vague idea what we're trying to explain. So it's hard to sort of strike a balance between, just being concise and actually giving out the detail that sort of Morgul does, where we'll have a paragraph long sentence, because he's got all of the caveats necessary to make it make perfect sense and be undebunkable as a sentence. But, I'm not saying we should go to that extreme as much as I love the Morgul, but we do sometimes. I find it when I interview people, I really have to get them to explain what they're using as a globe proof. So Robin Poe, I'll use her again as an example. When she was explaining that, she explained the relays, but she didn't labour the point, and that means the Earth is flat because there was a clear line of sight for 119 miles.
Right.
She didn't detail it so that anybody watching was left in no doubt. She sort of just laughed about it and went, "Well, it worked at 119 miles." It's like somebody will hear that, but they won't see the relevance of it or what that actually means. And that's something that I'm quite conscious of, especially when I'm telling people like to ignore NASA. Ignore NASA. It's just nonsense. But by the same token, to somebody who's hearing that goes, "Well, they've got proof. They've got proof you're wrong." That it needs a bit more meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right.
Use that initiative, mate, and do some searching on themselves, like we did.
Yeah, don't do their research.
Don't understand it completely. I mean, I shouldn't imagine too many Globers be watching your show, would they?
No, few.
Maybe. Who knows?
You never know.
I'm going to say goodbye.
I see quite a few Globers here.
Well, maybe watching right now. You're converting somebody as we speak, Hillbilly. You just don't know. But I've got to love and leave you. Thank you very much for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate you stopping by once again, people. Nathan's got his 100th episode coming up. I believe guests are going to be Bob and his wife and Jern. Am I correct, Nathan?
I've asked them all. None of them have confirmed. I've no idea who'll be there. It'll be a free-for-all. I'm sure there'll be lots of interesting people on it.
Nice.
Hey, if you would, do me one favor. If Jern does show up, ask Jern if he ever goes on an opportunity where he's going to debate Sandy Hook again, bring me on as a second Sandy Hook debater instead versus that person that was on that one show he was on where they talked about Sandy Hook the last part. Boy, that irritated me to sit there and know how much that truther, I understand some truthers jump on board real quick, but it's another thing to get on there and present yourself as a fool when we got the facts, and the facts are found right within the report. And I hate to be patting myself on my own back, but nobody knows the report like I do.
Did you like the video I sent you, the VidMe video that you've shared on your Hangouts ago?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I watched. But like I said, my approach. All right, everybody say bye, Nathan. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Nathan. You have a good afternoon.
Nice to meet you, Vegan, by the way.
Sorry.